Live broadcast. We're going. Let's just make sure it's live. Live broadcast. We're going. All right. How's everyone doing today?
Fuck you.
I have a new dock, it feels like. All right, you guys can see my screen, right? Yellow.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, so Thursday. We're going to start with Mogushan Vaults. We are going to go in there, and the reason we're going to put a priority on it, we've just gotten very few trinkets and weapons. And we are not going to full clear week 1. So getting more gear will assist us in that, and it's getting more 502s on people, and the item level in there is 506. And the set bonuses aren't going to change your life, right? So on Thursday, people need to be ethical. People need to be doing the mechanics properly. We don't want to waste any time in there. Goal is to get that all done and start pulling the first boss on heroic. If we do not kill the first boss on heroic in night 1, we will switch it to normal and kill it, and then we'll proceed to do the rest on heroic. So that is plan for night 1. Jordy has some videos up of the first 3. So you have your our boy here, the Imperial Vizier, which is one of the harder fights. He has Garelon, he has the Blade guy, he has the Wind boss, or he doesn't have Wind boss. So we're kind of going to go over our strategy here. So we'll start the roam over here. This is platform 1, then it goes to platform 2, then it goes to platform 3, and then it goes to center down here. Okay, so from start of fight, when we pull it, we'll be tanking it here. I'll be tanking. We'll get 4 little zones. They basically, if you played retail, it looks like a hunter using turtle shield, basically. They can hold 7 people in them. So split up accordingly. Melee, there's going to be 2. There'll be 1 up by the tank. If you see, there's 2. There's going to be a ton up in the front, so you just need to move over to the tank one too. But for the first like 80% like he's doing no real damage. Tanks basically swamp. Me and you have to handle the exhales and stuff like that. So you move in between the player and it's on. The non-active tank will do it. If you're on an echo and he's doing it on another one, you're obviously doing it for your platform, right?
Yeah.
So Swamp will be staying and taking care of the echoes every time. About 85% will transition. Myself and Messi will move to platform 2 on green. So that would be Juku, Messi. Yeah. So we goes over here. He and I are doing the same thing. We'll have Force of Verve. There'll be 2 things. Yep. I will be there in a moment, baby girl. There'll be 2 over there, so we need to make sure to use them. Thanks, baby. All right. There'll be 2 of them. We use them. Make sure, and we still have things coming through. So one thing I'm going to show you.
From D&D this.
So here's the opener. As you see, they're just able to pump. This is who's beta stuff, so
Definitely
this is before
operate that.
changes, and they are lower item level than we currently are. But as you can see, we kind of can just full send, like in the beginning. So they're skull bannering, they're using their totems and stuff like that right off the bat.
Probably should not have done that. I don't know. Sometimes the echo comes in time, and you can actually get it.
And so there's the little
Sometimes
shields. Force and Verve, you need to be in them. We'll also have like a healer cooldown going with it too, so you see how they're tranking at that point. So we'll either use like a revival or a devo or a spirit shell.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it.
So this is
Fuck,
when
man. I keep forgetting
Messi
I
and
don't
I
boost this
move.
stuff.
Now at this point, Swamp, the rest of you guys are staying there with the Echo, and you need to kill it as fast as possible. You need to deal with the Force of Verve and stuff like that. We're not seeing it right here. It should travel over to their platform.
There. Literally just
But here it
bad
is.
keep.
So here's the balls. The second ability he does, the I'm going to butcher it. Attenuation. So the yellow ones, you don't want to get hit, but you can use a defensive to go through it. The green ones, those ones are killer. Don't get hit by green. If you're going to get hit, use a defensive. Make sure it's yellow. Don't get hit by green, or you're
Divines.
griefing.
I
But
need to probably
Foji will
shift
tell
that
you
one
a
over.
way to go, but like don't listen to Foji. It's just like Will of the Emperor right now. Just its eyes weak
Make sure
aura.
you're watching the rings going over here.
Okay. They will be coming over from other platforms too. So like when you're traveling through, you see how you're going through the smog there. You're silenced and you're taking a damage. So there will be a gate from our Warlock from that. Use it. Get over there, or boots. Okay. The sucky part is if your boots malfunction, you're coming across, you're gonna basically be fucked. So hopefully it doesn't do that. There's the exhale. This is what the tanks are standing between the player and what's going on.
Head to the platform.
Nice.
So, blah, blah, blah. Back to here. We do this. We do the exhale. We do the dance. We avoid orbs. We're doing really good. Then we go to the next one. I leave swamp. I move over to the last platform up here. But the other person joining us is going to be Malk. And I'm bringing the DKs. And I'm bringing the warriors. For this, the monks and Zaist, we will be running Ring of Peace. This will be a mind control one. This is again, so once mind control goes out, it's not broken until you're at 50% health. We have to be ready with a revival or something, a health stone if you're low coming out of that. But basically we'll have healing assignments done for like going into that. And we'll run Ring of Peace, and we'll have a rotation for that. Ring of Peace is a silence and a disarm, so it's going to help a lot. But yeah. So we add the mind control. We add the same thing. You're dodging orbs, and you're also waiting for the other group to come over because Swamp is still here hanging out, and with the rest of the DPS, the ranged, and the other healers. As soon as that gets, they join us. When we get to 40%, it's final phase. We all go to center platform. We're all hanging here. Boss is here. I'll pick boss and drag boss over to here. Okay? And make sure he's facing me. We will lust. We will pop everything and start sending. At about like on the videos for who... Let's just jump ahead to final phase. They still go off, by the way, after he dies, so you just kind of gotta still do mechanics. Right here. Okay. So we go in the middle.
Alright, so the loss.
There's the lust.
Hey, reset thread again.
If I'm down in
Fuck.
swamp, you have to pick it up. You have to taunt off the bat. Same thing with
Everything
the
that
echo.
happened there completely and utterly fucked everything I was trying to do the entire fight.
I'm just gonna mute
Hell
him.
yeah.
I'm sick of him. But anyway, it's full send. As you can see, they're gonna get to about, here's their first one, about like 25. It's orbs. You stop damage, and you prioritize living. Do you see how the hunters are using deter just to stay alive? The corner sucks, by the way. I would recommend this area. See how there's melee back here? This is a very scary place because they go through the pillar. So see how those go through? You cannot, you won't see it. So it comes up, so going in there, not recommended. You're just setting yourself up for failure. Force of Verve, healing cooldown in unison with it. And then about after he does Force, this is when he brings his Echo out. And that needs to be picked up by Swamp. and then basically move to the other side of the room. So mind control, obviously, dangerous time to get that. So see the echoes, he grabbed the echo, moved it there, and then Cow just moved this guy because the other guy Crunk couldn't move it fast enough. But we just got to separate them quickly. And then it's just everything's happening at the same time. And that's the fight. It's literally mechanics first, then damage. But you have to like be actually doing your rotation and not just breathing through your mouth. Any questions on this fight? DKs, I don't know about AMS, about griefing or trying to take a yellow orb to get runic power with it. I look in your class Discord for that. Please get that info and share it with each other if it's a source of runic power or if it's a, a lifeline. AMS will be great for it. You'll just place it on melee. It'll probably pop pretty instantly because of people getting hit. But basically, this is self-accountability and like it's a decently easy fight. It's just a lot of mechanics at once. So anything anybody else saw that they'd like to suggest or questions before I move on?
Yeah, this is like one of the hardest fights in all of phase 1.
Yep.
Right.
Besides Shafir. But that's because it's so long and you have to stay awake. That's the hardest part of the fight. Okay. I recommend watching that fight, finding a point of view that works for you. But there's videos out there. Watch it, know it. This fight is pretty fun. So I'm just going to grab all of our stuff. And we're going to go to Blade Lord. So boss is going to start up here. I believe we can pull off. This is a tank swap mechanic. So there's a debuff at 2 swamp. Yep. So we're DPSing up here. Melee is behind the boss and range is spread. And you're not in the middle at all. This line here, basically the ending of the steps is a no-no. There can be no tornadoes because randomly he's going to just drop a tornado and then it stays there. The other thing that we will be doing is he will be doing his unseen strike. Basically he's going to target someone. So let's just say it's the evoker, right? We all play evokers now. And basically the raid needs to move to the evoker. And you need to face towards a tornado. You cannot have your back towards a tornado. It does a slash that will have a raid cooldown assigned for each one. We need to all soak it. You're not exempt from soaking it unless you're a tank. Well, you're a tank, you're still soaking it because he disappears. You're not tanking anything. So you get it, you get hit, you get knocked back. If you go into a tornado, you're dead. Once that happens, we quickly then evocate back to a spot. Once this area gets kind of full, we'll move the boss over to here. And this is all phase 1. He keeps doing it, blah, blah, blah. So they were getting phase 2 typically. So we'll just watch this a little bit to see the mechanics. There's the boss. See, their range is spread out, but they are still way too close to the middle. I don't want that close. See all this area that can be used? Okay, there's your tornado. It just spins in one place. There's a stacking debuff, obviously. And unseen is being counted down. It's in 3, 2, 1. He's going to disappear. There it is. They stack. Boom. See, if you get knocked back into a tornado, you are dead. So they do this for a while. He does his Tempest. Basically, you need to get the fuck out. And we will use a healing cooldown for this. Probably a Devo, because it's physical damage. And that's phase 1. See, the room fills. They move to the other side. Blah, blah, blah. Same shit. All right. 40%. So Tempest Slash. Did they get it at 30? Okay. Phase 2 is 20%. Okay. So 20%, he does this bullshit, pushes you all the way to the opposite end. If you remember the one boss in, what is it? It's not Siege. Is it Gate? It's Siege, right?
It's Siege.
Yeah. So same thing as Siege. 3 tornadoes, 3 lines. Also did the same thing with Rocks and ZG when they remastered it. Okay. Get to the other side. In the beta footage, they had the Warlock put a gate down, but it disappeared. But the other thing is, if you use the gate and if there's a tornado between you and the expiration area, you get this. And you're just going to take a shit ton of damage. Mobile, this is when Resto Shamans would use Spirit Walker's Grace. We'll have it assigned who's doing it when. And then also like a preset up when we're getting close to 20% with a Spirit Shell would be nice. Teleports to the other side. Rocket Boots, or we use, or Stampeding Roar for the second one. So you Stampeding Roar and a Rocket Boots, get across the other side, kill the boss. This boss is pretty fucking free. It's stacking for Unseen Strike, being careful with tornadoes, not getting hit by tornadoes, and then getting away from them when he's spinning. You've seen it in the Incestuals when you're kissing your cousin in those dungeons. Instead of just standing in it, you move out of it. Anything anybody else saw? Suggestions or things like that they liked? Or questions about our strat? Okay. We'll go to Garelon. So Garelon, when you first pull him, he's going to put a pheromone on someone, and it's proximity based, so you cannot go in before the person. We're going to try to get a list of people who to take it. Typically, hunters and shamans are good for it until the final phase when the boss becomes tankable. Then you give it to a healer, a resto shaman, and it's transferred by physicality closeness. So you hand it off by basically moving into the other person. Okay? So Garelon. You got your boss boy. And then where's the entrances? Probably over here. So we'll say the entrance is here. He comes in. I've seen a couple different things and I haven't, fully worked out, but like if the tank gets it, they can hold it for till 15, because the tanks, we just stand in the frontal for the furious swipes. We both need to be hit by it or it gives a buff. Once that's done, Swampy, there's 2 legs in the front. You and I need to stand inside those rings and start killing those legs, because we get 100% crit or damaged buff to the legs. So basically we're bouncing in and out between his little legs. Okay?
Huge.
I know, I feel huge. Melee is going to be on the back side. Okay? And Melee, you need to be max range. He has a massive hitbox, and you need to be hitting those legs, but you need to be inside the hitbox. Ranged, you can multi-dot it, but it's not your main focus. The reason why Melee wants to focus a leg, and you're not coming up to kill the front ones. Those are the ones ranged are going to help the tanks kill, okay? You're not moving up because the center circle, if you move into it, you'll trigger the mechanic Crush, which is happening already, but it stuns the whole raid for 2 seconds and does massive damage to the raid. So we don't need to trigger any extra ones. Plus, if you're in the circle when he crushes, you're basically dead. So don't go underneath him. There's a purple circle. Don't go in it. If you go in it, I'll give you a warning. If you keep it up, if 5 people on the bench, I'm just going to bring them in. I just don't want to waste time. This is a free boss. We'll get the pheromones. If the tank gets it, the tanks will just hand it off from 15 to 15, and then we'll have a hunter come in and take it from us. We have to move it to the edge. So basically, if a tank gets it, I prefer not. I just want to get it to the edge as fast as possible, but the hunter gets it, and you just start moving clockwise. Don't go too fast. You drop the thing, you sidestep. Drop the thing, sidestep. You just want to stay ahead of him. Hopefully we'll have 2 to 3 legs dead. Every leg that's down is a movement impairing. It goes up to 60%. It's 15 per. And he'll be regenerating those legs, so we need to focus them as soon as they come up melee. But you get to your stacks, you'll have the next person come in. Let's say it's another hunter. They come in, grab it from you. You move in, and you just start damaging the boss. Same thing, they get to their stack amount. And then we have maybe a mage come in and get it. Hopefully not. But it's all, that's the fight. We have crushes. We'll have a healing cooldown assigned to the crush as necessary. We're getting hit by the frontal. That's the fight till 35%. Once 35%, he becomes tankable. I was not seeing people take massive damage. People say he does, but I wasn't seeing it. His hitbox is massive. We lust. That's when we'll probably give it to one of the shamans and the healers, because they can just basically turret. I was seeing them go to like 18, Messy, if you remember that, right?
Yeah, 18.
Yeah, that might be dangerous for us, but we'll flirt with it. If somebody dies with pheromone, their body still has it. Somebody has to go to their body and pick it up. Okay, so keep that in mind. So if you die with pheromone, you need to give like coordinates. Basically, I might just put markers down in the room so you can just say I'm by circle, because I mean, you first off should look for the circle trail and see a body there, but I might just do that to help in the beginning. Once we get to a certain percent, every time you kill a leg, it does 3%. So if we're getting, he's at 12%, and you see we might just say range, focus legs, kill the front legs. Because he ignores the pheromone, and you can just knock 3% off per leg if there's a couple legs up. So that's 6% in like a couple seconds. They don't have a ton of health. But that's pretty much the fight. The biggest thing, again, is handling the pheromone. That's the learning curve. Handling the pheromone, not triggering the purple circle underneath the boss. Yeah. Any comments? People saw different things. People saw things they liked, or questions? Feel like a professor at a college. Nobody cares. They're just there with their recorders. All right. Do we want to watch a little bit of it on the video that I have, or do we want to move on?
Hell yeah.
At least show them what the hitboxes look like so they can see it.
Yeah. So you see those dotted? That's if you need to be inside that melee if you're hitting the leg. But you see that purple overlap? See how massive that is? Do not get near that. So here the hunter got it. He moved it to the edge. There's the frontal cone that the tanks need to stand in. Then there's the gap. So it's every like 8 seconds that we can just basically sidestep into that and go hit a leg. But if your pheromone person is moving so fast, Swamp, that's where you and I have it. So here's a tank with it right now. And he's just sitting at the max range of the furious swipes. You see that? That's what I'm talking about, Swamp, for you and I might do just to have another person with it.
Too easy, Big Dad.
I think you and I might flirt with it in the beginning. And then make the hunters do it. Alright, so see the legs. Ranger getting those down. The back two are already dead. He healed one, brought it back up. That's the fight. But do you see how fast they're going? Like this guy gets yelled at in comms because of how fast he's going. He's turning the boss, which is making it so nobody gets hit by that frontal right there. The tanks didn't get hit. So now he has a stack of the buff where he does increased damage and faster attack. So it's balancing out that movement. You kind of want him to overlap a little. So I'm just going to speed it up. So Crush is coming soon. Let's just see. A Crush go out. And this is another one, DKs. I don't know if you can be scummy and use AMS and walk into this for runic power. But here's a Crush. He jumps up in the air. Boom. Raid damage. About like almost 50%. Let's see. Did they pop something? I don't see anything. All right. Let's get to 35%. All right. So now is when he's on a tank. You're still doing the circles though. He just won't chase you. So it's on a shaman. I don't see the shaman yet where they are. They're in the back there where my cursor is. And I think it's about like 15 or 18% that they call it. Just kill the legs, nuke the legs. But yeah, it's a spank and tank at that point. If we're getting them to 35%, typically it's a kill unless melee fucks us or somebody fucks us and goes in the purple circle right there. But you can dodge and parry the frontal too, by the way.
Oh.
I know. But yeah, that's the boss. Any other questions, comments, concerns, things like that?
What's the priority for melee targets? Legs or
Legs.
boss?
If there's a leg
Legs
up,
always-
if there's a leg up on the back side, you're doing it, but you are not moving towards the front. Those back
I
two
love
legs are
touching
your
legs.
Yeah. What's that?
Diseases should hit the front.
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
stress
I
about
heard
it.
spreading stuff is kind of wonky on that boss. Like for
Yeah.
me, spreading flame shocks and shit's kind of wonky. So I don't know if it'll be the same for DKs or what, but
I got a comment real quick, Toilet. During the mind control, don't fucking kill us, Toilet.
oh, dude, come on, think of my parse.
Anyway, give me like 2 seconds and I'll be back. I gotta say goodnight to my daughter.
I'm always thinking about the parse, dude. Come on.
All right. On to Wind Lord. So, as you can see in this picture, there's multiple sets of ads. There's Blade Masters, there's Trappers, and there's Menders. So they each have their own abilities. The Menders will cast a heal. They'll also put a buff on themselves that needs to be purged, dispelled. So they'll put the buff up. You need to purge it like right away. So that's shamans, that's mass dispel, that's hunters if you can do it with trank shot. The amber trappers, the hunters are going to be assigned to keep them CC'd with traps, and you need to keep your trap. So like before it comes up, you need to re-trap your target, and it cannot get loose. We're CCing them the whole fight. If we CC more than 4, he's going to break the CC, so it's only 4. Okay? So all 4 trappers are CC'd. The Blade Masters will come in and they will pick a target to basically go give them what's coming to them, and we just bop the target. They'll also do a Blade Storm. We need to use defensives when that's going on. The point of this is in the early beginning. These are marked with Skull X and Square. Those need to die ASAP, right? So I'm just going to hit play. They're pre-trapping. Doesn't pull the boss. There's a solo tank fight. DKs, you can grip them on top, and they're focusing the menders with passive AoE. The reason for that, once they die, they debuff the boss for, I think it's either 25 or 35 seconds. There's the heal, needs to be kicked. There's the unseen strike. You see how that target was bopped. It was called that they were going to get a bop. They survive. There's the quickening. So you see that buff. It looks like what was that? Moat or something of air. So it looks like that needs to be gotten rid of like ASAP. So kick, dispel those boys. Solar beam will be good for that. Okay, whirling blade. That's where he throws a sword. It's basically a boomerang. It throws it around. You need to move out of the path. That's melee 2 because it's going to come back in, and if it hits you, see how it hit all those DKs. We're not as good as them, so we need to make sure we're avoiding as much damage as possible. All right, we're almost to where they pop Lust. There's the buff one more time. They need to get rid of it. Another strike, another bop. Okay, there's the buff. Recklessness he receives. It is 28 seconds. Here's a raid cooldown that would go off while he's doing his whirlwind. This is where we Lust, cooldown, start going. Okay. We're also passively cleaving these. We want these to die pretty quickly after this buff falls so we can get another set of buffs. Same mechanics. Here's the last mechanic we didn't talk about. It's called Wind Bomb. Range, you're going to be spread around the boss. Semicircle, you can use back here where they spawn. You've seen these in the incestuals. Between you kissing your cousin, you've been popping them. I think Rot popped about 1,000 in one raid or one dungeon. They're not good. They'll wipe us, so don't hit them. As soon as it spawns, move. Eyes, weak aura. Again, this raid is all about personal responsibility. You do the mechanic first, then you continue rotation. Okay, they drop the buff. Blade Masters are about to die. They get the second buff of damage. New ads are going to be spawning soon. Same thing, hunters, when those come in, you're still maintaining your trap. We're not bringing the trappers in. You need to keep your shit CC'd. New menders will come in, MD them, DKs can mass grip them in. There's the boys. Another raid cooldown for the whirlwind will be used. Those are pretty good for diva auras. At this point, you're not touching that, you're just passively cleaving them with, you're not trying to pad, and we're just, you kill the boss. This boss is so fucking easy. Like, these are the 3 after boss 1 that are just layups after you get boss 1. It's the thank you for dealing with that. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there.
Wow, vengeance looks balanced here.
Oh yeah, this is before, if you look at this is before the blood DK nerf, where they could snapshot army and shit like that. Look at that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
DKs, do you see what you can do? Do you see how many they brought because of that?
Rhett would probably be like fourth.
No, Rhett would be probably.
Okay.
Rhett's,
Innates are probably on top.
Rhett's probably outside with the feral
Yellow.
druid, just hanging out, cheering the gang on.
We'll see. We'll see in splits. We'll see in splits. I'll convince you.
But questions, comments, concerns for this one? All right. Then we have the last two that are actual boss fights. So, Amber Shaper. The boss, when you start it, has a buff that doesn't allow you to do much damage to it. It's not time to damage the boss. There'll be time. So there's two different strats that are out there, and I haven't decided which one we're going to go to. One of them brings a third tank. One of them just brings the 2 tanks. The Swamp, you need to get good at the minigame because you're the Amber construct. I look forward to you impressing everyone. So, the Amber Monstrosity, the Amber Constructs, and the Amber Slicer. So, we'll just start it. I'm going to hit play.
Stats, then we're good to go.
Go on.
Mute it. I don't really feel like hearing him talk. So Reshape Life, that's the cooldown where he turns somebody into a construct. And the Scalpel. So there's the Scalpel. Don't have a good angle of it. You've seen it in the Incestuals. Draws a line, spawns the Ambers. They need to be killed. Now in Heroic, the difference between Heroic and normal for this is in Heroic, when they die, they're on a timer that they'll reform and come back to life if they're not eaten by the construct. So that's the difference between normal and heroic. They need to be just killed. So you see the range is switching to them. Okay. And here you see the warrior getting into the monstrosity. He's picking up, eating the amber, putting the debuff up on the boss, and interrupting himself. But they're switching to him and DPSing him out. Once you hit 20% in the Amber Monstrosity, it gives you an eject button so you can get out. So he's basically just putting the debuff up because the Monstrosity is not up and stacking it and keeping himself interrupted. So Swamp, that helps us for phase 2 or 3. So he has a shit ton. And that's where the 2 strats come into play, where you basically have somebody full-time in there. And the second person comes in, they interrupt themselves, and then we just get them out as soon as possible. We always keep someone in, which means he would have so many stacks on him. And that's probably what people will switch to once, you know, the gear is out, and that'll be the par strat.
Hell yeah.
Again, Monstrosity, same shit. Debuff the boy, kill the ads. Boss is taking like no damage because they have such a high stack of that buff. Okay. Amber Monstrosity is coming out soon. So you see the boss has 21 stacks of the debuff before the ad even spawns. 22. Here comes the big boy. This is where you switch to putting him on him. But you don't want to let them fall off the other boss. So you see how they're still maintaining it. And so I'd pick up the Monstrosity. Krunk is staying in there now. He have to interrupt himself. Then you have the crushes. Pretty much a tank and spank. Basically a lot of shit going on all at the same time. Time to make you feel overwhelmed, so you make a mistake. He'll pick up the tank. He'll fling the tank. Add a player, does damage, blah, blah, blah. The goal here is to get the Monstrosity out as fast as possible, but you don't want to use Lust. So again, see how the trackers for the explosion, they have 32 debuffs on the boss. Just gonna skip ahead. At this point, they start to get a couple people with the reshape life. It's because they have so many pools, so we may call to do that. I don't foresee us getting to this boss too quickly. Alright, let's go to the second phase. Boys down. Does this, channels a thing which is going to summon slimes. It's going to basically, they'll fixate on people. To get rid of them, you have to basically run through each other without hitting your slime, and the slimes have to hit each other. So basically, the two people have to kite them into each other so they hit each other, and they will go away. There also becomes a pulsing AoE damage. You're seeing it right there. But basically, this boss has 50 stacks of the debuff. They lust, and you just basically watch the boss melt before like the globs even come out. Now that's who doing it with their damage but less gear. We'll have more gear, but these guys have also done on private server and PTR. Okay. Question on this boss. Things you saw. This is one of the harder fights too. It's just a lot going on at once, and it's really dependent on your Amber Shaper guy. So we all will get mad at Swamp. Hopefully not. He's probably going to be the best at it. Probably's got the high score.
Sucking up your goo is all I'm good with, you know?
Yeah.
Rather have Swamp do it than you.
What's that?
I mean, it's not a paladin, right?
Whoa.
Whoa.
I'm dog shit, dude. At Paladin.
Those are fighting words.
Yeah. It's...
Great. I'm aggressive.
Still
Sorry.
offended by that.
So, I don't know if you can see this, but they spent they've been on private server killing this boss. They still spent almost 2 hours on this, right? And then they came back from their dinner break, and then they did another hour on it, and then they finally got the queen down. This one, I'm thinking Messy with 6 heals, just because of how intensive it is. So,
yeah.
Boss comes in, tanks get a debuff. If it stacks to 5, we get mind controlled. So taunt at 3 to 4. We decide based on, things. Face them away. Okay, here's the first ability. It's called the fields. So dissidence fields, you're going to see those come up. So there's AoE damage going out. There's the first 2. Okay, so there'll always be 2. They basically will slowly tick down till they explode, and it does a massive amount of damage. You can accelerate it by having somebody go in and cast spells. Arcane mages are really good for it. They call out that arcane missile. Every arcane missile counts, so it kind of just eats it really quick because you have 3 arcane missiles, or 4, I don't remember. But you want to get rid of them and stagger them. And then it does massive raid damage. The other thing that happens in Heroic is, we should see it here in a second. There it is. So a Shah will corrupt one. So it'll pop through, you see that retard come out. That one you need to get rid of first. You need to get somebody in there casting to start eating it. So they send a mage in. The mage is ice lancing to get rid of it. Getting it low, low, low. So see how it separates the time. It accelerates that one. Now, when you pop it, it does raid damage. But if you're in there, it does like a massive damage that can be negated by a bop. So you see right there, right before it popped, that target in there was bopped. That eats all the damage. Okay. So here comes the other field. Melee, you're directly behind the boss. Both fields need to be gone before the next set. It's just a shit ton of melee or AoE damage. So they didn't. Second one, they didn't need to put anyway in to trigger. There are the fields. They're in melee. They can spawn there. Basically, that's the fight continuing. Massive raid damage, massive healing required. Getting rid of the Shah one as soon as it spawns. So there's the Shah. They see that one. Then they're like, okay, let's get this one out. They send somebody in. Blah, blah, blah. Right before it pops. Boom. So defensive, raid defensive, and then just top off the raid. This goes on till phase 2, 60%. She'll come out. Here are the ads. So this is a tank buster right here. So Swamp, you'll grab the 2 Reavers and take them to the back. I'm going to grab the Wind Blades. These need to be misdirected to me as fast as possible. We'll have stacks of range together. So we'll grip them together, see how the range is stacked together. A couple things are happening at this point. So these guys are do a fixate. They'll draw a line to you. You need to kite them. Their abilities are bigger than they look, so you just need to stay within A, healing range of healers, but B, far enough away to not get hit by them. They also cast a resin. When 2 people with resin come together, it forms a globule and drops to the floor. We need those resins for the Reavers. Tanks, we need to take big cooldowns at the beginning. So it's basically, this is when so see how fast he goes down. We use our Vidges, Sacks, Art of Personals. We'll also have the Druid give the tank doing Wind Burst. I'll get Symbiosis, so I have Survival Instincts. You want to get these low, keep the Reavers faced away. They do a frontal cone. I don't know if he's eating it or sidestep. Yeah, he's eating it. So you get these low. We need to keep 1 alive though. So they're just fucking getting them. They make the resin trap is at 3. The reason you need these to die, because if we bring a Reaver in when they make the trap before they're dead, they will then rush to free the Reaver, because once the Reaver's in there, they take 5% damage per tick in there. So other tank 1 just brings it right over. Boom, it's trapped. It's just going to start ticking down and dying. Now the Wind Blade is going to go over there. He's going to be like, hey, this fucking sucks. Let my boy out. Then the raid is DPSing the other one that's still up, getting it low enough. Ranged, if you can multi-dot, you'll put dots on these Reavers. Melee, you're not going to make an attempt to do it. You need to kill the other stuff. Dispatch, do you see that? That can be kicked. It needs to be kicked. Kick it. Okay. Now they're getting the resin. They're still keeping the boy up. He's fixated, still having a kite. I see fixate on 2 people, which is weird, but it is what it is. Let's just fast forward. Okay, last resin's up. They trap it. Now they bring the Wind Blade, kite him over. They need these to die at the same time. So don't worry about focusing the Reaver at that time. Just focus the Wind Blade, get rid of it, blah, blah, blah. And you go back to phase 1. Same shit. I'm not going to spend time. Phase 3, 30%. We need to have all fields gone. So there will be a damage, possibly a damage stop if we're getting close and those fields are up. So if we're at like 33%, you may hear me stop. You need to stop. We need to get rid of those fields before we transition. And we have to be mindful that we will not get another set of fields during the transition. So see, they're slowing down. There goes 1 field. See, they're pausing damage. They send multiple people in to get rid of that last field. Boom. Final phase. Boss starts hitting harder. Same thing for tanks. Now there's a new ability. There's a beam right up there. Picks a target. Bring it up. Tanks need to step in front of it. So you can bring it to the tanks up there. Tanks will absorb it. Once it goes off of you, you can go away. Consume terror. So here's the visions. Visions, you need to move out of the raid, and you need to separate. It's, I believe, 5 yards from each other. These guys don't do a great job. They blow each other up. But before it pops, you need to just move over there. This beam needs to be moved out of the raid. Typically, you bring it to the tank so they can eat it. Consume terror. It'll be on somebody. It's a frontal cone. You move out of it, so the whole raid moved. You see the melee is over on the side. Frontal goes off. Melee goes right back. So purple beam or white beam, visions, frontal, massive damage. And they're running 6 heals here. So that's kind of the heal comp. 2 shamans, resto druid. A lot of mechanics in the fight, a lot of phases, a lot of damage. So they've been doing this for a long time. They know this fight, and they are still struggling with this. They spent a lot of time on her. So it's not like an easy fight. We probably, and I think we only get, what, 2 weeks before it's toes?
Yeah.
So I don't want people to get disappointed if we're not clearing this by week 2. These fights are a lot harder, but we do need to be adapting and getting better every week, that we're not spending time, wasting time on mechanics that are easy, like hitting shields, like doing stupid shit during mind controls and stunning people, debuffing them so they do lower damage. Yeah. Or serpent stinging the whole raid. That can't happen either. But long fight. I'm not gonna. They go into toes after this. So, any questions on Queen? Suggestions, thing you saw, things you're worried about, stuff like that.
How are we gonna get past the hardest mechanic, dude? The stacking mechanic. It's too hard, dude.
We need to utilize, stacking is something, again, it continues. It's a big thing in MoP. There's a lot of AoE healing that you can gimmick things. So we've even looked at the person and been linked how much people are standing in ground effect healing. When it's available, we need to use it. So it needs to be something that's prioritized.
If we're in an encounter and you're not standing in a healing rain, you're doing it wrong. That's really it. Think of it like a damage increase. We're all mages at
The
heart.
haste buff.
Yeah, it's a haste buff. Like there's only a certain, like a couple fights that you don't. So the Blade Master, right? We don't need to stack for Garrelon till final phase. Then we do. And then wind, you have to be spread out for the blades and stuff like that, and wind bombs. So any chance that we can stack and that we're able to, we're going to. We'll have Messy marked. We will also have assignment sheets with graphics. Those will be done. We're going to be using a different MRT note again. Well, the same one we kind of used, but this one should be better this time. But yeah, any questions, comments, concerns for Heart of Fear?
Get ready.
It's gonna be pretty easy.
All right.
We clear MSV in 1 hour, and then we kill first boss. Easy peasy.
All right, I'm going to end the stream.